Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited and feel privileged to be here and to host this wonderful gathering. I missed you all so much, guys, and I wish I could come and visit in Israel, but unfortunately, these times it's also impossible. But I'm happy that we are having this session, and you know, we should be updated with what's going on. I think we have we are sharing the same interest of what will be next, what is happening, and after this wonderful collaboration that we did with NGMA, like I wish that we can do more and think about and other options to collaborate. And I'm, you know, and I'm speaking to all of you, Drorit, Atar, and Tomer. Let's do more things in India.
And congratulations for your new space. I heard it's wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much. It's great. So
yeah, the Jaipur house that's been renovated, it's something that you guys have to come and see it. It's unbelievable, so beautiful. A new space, almost, I think it's double the space of the exhibition space. So,
wonderful.
Atar,
even your work, you know, you can build a forest of.
Yeah. Tomorrow also.
Forest of algae.
Oh, forest of algae. Tomorrow he installed nicely, you know, all the grains, so beautiful. You can see also video in backside me.
Yes, it's wonderful. Again and again.
Oh.
So, guys, maybe you want to share maybe some memory that you have from the time that you spent here in India and from the exhibition. Drorit, maybe we can start with you. Can you share a moment or a memory?
We have a group through the SMS, through the WhatsApp, and we keep talking about the exhibition. We became more and more friends and work together. Now I have a new project with Atar and Roy and artists that when we connect the things, thinking about this kind of issues, and I think it was fabulous experience for us. For me, it was the first time that I came to India and to work there with you and all the colleagues. It was wonderful. Thinking about, and because of the coronavirus, I start thinking about the title of the exhibition, To the End of Land. That was like, don't know, something that we need now is to rethinking again, because when we all, Tshuva, the co-curator of the exhibition, and I decided to title this, the exhibition name, we thought, of course, about the resource of nature and the erosion of the nature, but and in the Anthropocene era, but also about metacultural issues and behind the local national border. And I now think it's really, really issue that we need to think again. What is the end of land and where are we going to? So for me, the exhibition keep going with the research, with the thinking about it, with this interesting subject that we chose to work with.
For me, it was wonderful, you know, first the collaboration with Mr. Gadanayak and Magna and, you know, with Uma, which we've never worked together. It was wonderful. And again, as Drorit said, was very generous. And this wonderful show that Drorit and curated, I think my work was created at the original. It was like in a very local context. And I think that to take Israeli works, in my opinion, like my work, in a context of, in a new context, in a different culture, give it a really different perspective, I think, like in a more global, I guess, especially as Drorit says, in the context of land, which is a very political and, you know, problematic issue in Israel, and very compressed term. So for me, it was an excellent opportunity to test this kind of local work, a very local and very political work, which deals with something like restart the world, but from the place that I live in. It was very complex, but yet very interesting.
Oh, it's great. So nice.
You know, Tomer, thinking about this situation in Israel, I thought a lot about, of course, agriculture. It was just one theme of the exhibition. But now in Israel, when we were close at home, we tried to really to do something and to the farmer around Israel. So many people work with farmers from the south and the north of Israel, and we invited fruit and vegetable door to door, just to think and understand how much it's important to really save the agriculture in Israel.
Oh.
Yeah.
So now,
Atar?
To me, and I think also for my father and it was an eye-opener in terms of almost everything, every aspect of what can happen when people decide to actually work together. What can one achieve, or a group can achieve, and I think it was it's a kind of a wave that went through all the exhibition, all the objects in the exhibition, and through all the people that were involved in the objects, the artists and anyone there. There was, for me, it was an eye-opener to see what can happen, what the potential of not only a teamwork, but the decision to work together. And this insights is still with me 2 years. And if I can take 1 or 2 moments from the entire exhibition, and the work on the exhibition, is these 2. One is that I'm going to Arie Anzi studio. I'm all alone. Nobody speaks English. I'm connecting with this. I don't know who he is. I don't know his name. He has a small workshop there, and without speaking English, in 4 hours we are building a construction for whatever, and then we're starting to burn in this courtyard. And all of a sudden there is India all around me with bikes and chickens and fuel that we just go in the street. And to me it was like, what the hell is that? That's one. And the second, I remember in the opening, there was from the crowd, he told me, a guy just told me, what you did, what you all did here is unwinding the boundaries between art and nature. And this sentence is like, it's like the total exhibition in one sentence. It's because it is so true and it's so accurate in every term, and I can only be grateful for that, for this experience to you guys in the museum. It's like I'm doing this right now.
Oh, last 2 years.
Yeah.
I just want to add that I thought and felt like pioneers, that we were pioneers that came to to this beautiful space. I'm thinking not about space, it was like a street. And we try to build together a group of artists with your wonderful stuff, new idea about culture, nature, art, identity, even memory, and ask questions. And I found a lot of new friends. They write me. I met a lot of artists from India during the exhibition and the opening, and it's really wonderful that it still echo us and everybody.
I agree with Atar that something with the boundaries between, art and this group is blurred, because usually in a group exhibition, everyone is very self-centered with his own work or her own work and her own installation. And here it was like a really teamwork, and especially to see Atar's team, and then all of us became like really like a group and like a community maybe. So the fact that we all came there, not all of the artists, but I think like quite a large group for a few days has a very deep meaning in the exhibition.
I agree.
So now is the time is very difficult time, how the artists working, what is the role of museums, how the motivated to artists, it's very difficult time. So what is situation now in Israel? You can say, Drorit.
We stay at home, I think, for almost 2 months and a half. And of course, everybody talks through the internet, through the Facebook, through all the social nets. But I decided to meet artists. Since I couldn't go out, I had a Zoom meeting, a visit studio with a few artists. It was beautiful, they show me some materials and we talk about the situation and we think about the future exhibition, and it was really, really nice. And of course, I was so worried, so I called everybody around the world that I'm connected with, artists, curators, directors of museum. I wrote you too, and they asked how they are. And I think it was a break for rethinking again about everything, about our life, about art, about culture, about local and global ideas, and we need to ask a lot of questions. I had a few meetings Zoom last week, and I saw some director of museum all over the world. We are all at the same situation, so we need to rethinking again. And for me, it's connected, this exhibition, because I think we touched something that was the basic of our life: land, nature, agriculture, food, political issues. So it's really, really important now.
Yeah. Kumar, can I explain how last 2 years were?
Yeah. For me, it's like I've been working for like I think at least like a decade. I'm dealing with death and like this horrifying moment between I don't know, a catastrophe that or something that happened, that this horrifying moment between the next disaster. And now, like for the past 1.5 years, I'm working on this large-scale project that deal with this topic. And now that a very like a worldwide disaster has happened, and we're all at home now, so I had to think to make rethinking about my project, because I'm in this moment now, the day after the next catastrophe. So I'm mostly observing now and thinking maybe more I'm less concerned with the disease. I'm not so scared of it, but more like the cultural maybe, or the effect of humanity, the human behavior, and sometimes how in my country and also I think in some other countries, how science serve political ideology of the government, serve like with technology, of course, serve like a moment of having the possibility to put pressure on people, manipulate them, control their body. So I believe that this moment is very crucial for me, for my project. Very interesting, very hard, of course, complex. But I'm still processing it. Now I'm in a process. And for me, it's as an artist, it's a good, good thing.
Atar?
So to me, what Tomer just said is like, it is always like, I learned that there is the meaning of being in India and working on the exhibition also made it clear to me the essence of time as a material to work with. Especially when you work with a live material like the algae, the time is priceless. When there is a huge difference if you do the exhibition 2 weeks after you start to develop or 3 weeks. So when in terms of time and what it allows us to, the perspective that it allows us, I realized that there is. I took the insights into the teaching. I practice every week. I'm a teacher. I'm an art teacher. I'm the head of department of art in Tel Aviv, and I think that it realized to me that it is so important to take what you do into your classroom and allow yourself to learn and to be patient. And this term of understanding of time, of being patient and allow the perspective to get inside your body and not to all the time to respond, but to just let it observe in you is a very important insight that I practice now in my school, and I think this exhibition gave me the power to make a move now in the school of combining forces with other teachers and opening the art department to biology and to philosophy and to literature, and all these teachers, we are now working together. And so, and it took me a while. It took me a year and a half to understand that this is what I should do, and not only say to myself, but also to take it to the everyday life. So, and going to the Corona time and being all alone only made it clear, and I think not only to me, but to a lot of people in Israel, that we have to make a change in every aspect of our life. Education is the most thing as a parent, as Tomer as a parent can say, I think almost the same. Now we realize that we have to make a change in education now for our kids. Otherwise, there will be almost the same obstacles for our kids, and we cannot allow that. And this process started in the exhibition, in working on the exhibition, because as I said earlier, I was in a country that nobody speaks my language, so I had to be silent, I had to listen, I had to absorb India. Absorbing was something that I learned to do back in the exhibition. And I'm taking you also to the Corona time that we are facing now. The need to be to reach out, to say to everything to everyone, let's do it together.
So Roma, you know, the connection Israel to India, the Egyptian was so nice, agriculture, science, technology, philosopher, whatever, you know, even conservation. It was the spark point for me, you know, 2 years ago. So I like to continue this relation. Thanks to Petach Museum also, Israeli ambassador, they come to opening it. It was so nice. For the last 2 years, I have not listened anything. That's why I try to connect you to how can you maintain these things in this situation or in future plan. So it will be great for India and great for National Gallery of Modern Art.
I think India really is really close to Israeli people, and we like to negotiate, to contact, to speak together. Magna came to Israel, and it was a pleasure to meet her here. And I think, thinking about what Atar just said, we need to be more close now, to have a dialogue between cultural center, between nations, and it's not like, you know, idealistic thought, but we must do it because I think we were all at the same we had the same experience, and now we need to keep going and maybe go back to simple ideas. So as for me, I'm now working on a net of curators all over the world to think about this idea that you just asked, and I invited you and Negma to be a part of this net. It's really important to keep talking, artists, curators, philosophers, all together to try to change something. Thinking about biennales and art fair, maybe it's the time to be more simple, more close to visitors, thinking about simple art. And I think what Atar and Tomer made in this their wonderful project is exactly the same idea, to do something that touch people, feel life through the work.
It's great. So Roma?
Yeah, Drorit, thank you. Beautifully said, I think, and I'm very much agreed with all of you. It's time to be more simple, I think. And also the art world, you know, it's an opportunity to rethink about where it's going and how we consume it. And it's very interesting that we now starting to make the links between everybody at a time that we are all isolated. And we have to reach out. And for me, I have to say, NGMA is one of my favorite places here in Delhi. For me, it was amazing experience, really. I can't thank you enough. It was 3 months after I arrived to Delhi and to start with this position as cultural attaché. And everybody told me, be prepared. This is going to be your first and your biggest project. But I really hope, really, now that you have more space, sir, so maybe we can do another project. Maybe we can do another exhibition, and we can do it also simple. We don't have to go, you know, over the top. It can be, yeah, this is the time to think about new ways to share, to connect, and
I think about, I saw we had a small tour at your collection. You have amazing collection.
Thank you.
Maybe we can do something, Israeli artists and Indian artists all together, research collection. Your collection, Israel, and work together, because there is something there, and the history of the collection that we can learn from this. And I think it can be simple, just bring artists and work on real time. And I'm sure it will be another challenge.
Sounds great.
Yes. So yeah, tell me, Drorit.
Yes, I think because we really want to keep this connection. I think it's important. For me, it was really one of my highlight in my career, and I think you have a wonderful country. We need to learn the culture of the country and the people. And it was Atar spoke about time. I learned studies there about the time and the rhythm of time, to be more quiet, more listen to myself from inside, and not just running as the Western culture used to do.
Yeah, I agree that something with the tension between maybe this past or ancient times with the present, like if we're talking about, for example, agriculture. So agriculture is like this most ancient, culture, and so many the best qualities, I think, human, but contemporary agriculture is also this the most high-end technology, and we're also very ambivalent about it, but all of this, like this tension between past and this very compressed moment in the present is, with this point of view towards the next, the next moment, the near future, creating maybe better place from, this place is a very, I think, crucial thing, like now, looking toward the next generation or the next moment.
Yes. So actually, the Corona times, how the museum is motivated to artists in Israel?
All the museums were closed for more than 2 months, but now we start reopen museums, and really the audience are I think it just 1 week, and people going to museums, to galleries, thinking about art, and I think it's a basic needs. How is the situation in India with the museums?
Not like in Israel. In Israel, they just open it, but unfortunately here in India, all the galleries are closed, museums are closed. So we're still waiting, because we are in a different stage than in Israel right now with the corona. But I hope that soon NGMA and the rest will be open under registration, I'm sure, but restrictions, sure, but right now there's nowhere to go.
But it's a time of dream.
So, artists always, the museum, everything takes closure. Now everybody is separate, So in India, also we are feeling very lonely. Artists also sometimes they ring me, oh, I'm doing this painting, I'm doing this sculptures, but my mind is still something in disturbance, So what you feel in Israel, the artist community. Actually, I already discussed with Atar and Tomar. They are they are really working so hard now. So I'm so happy. So actually, this is the last 4 minutes, so we can discuss each other how to connect in future. It was Drorit explained nicely, but an artist, Atar can also say, and Roman can also say. So it will be so strong our relation. Actually, I had to close. How to actually I can't explain it, but you can feel it. How to connect to the root and in indigenous way. So it will be great for me. Tell me.
I think you have to visit in Israel. As soon as it will be possible, you should go to Israel, and it will help. It's a good beginning, I think.
Yeah, I have to. I have.
Guys, if you have more.
You will
Well,
enjoy it, really.
The question is how to take it from here. Am I correct? Yes?
Yes.
Well, first of all, is as soon as we can fly and you can fly here, I'm just taking the first plane to India and I'll be there. I think the best way is to just keep informed on every step, on everything that we can find the I don't know the word for that in English, but where we all meet, just inform ourselves. And if the museum, in terms, the most easy thing to do is, I think Tomer is teaching, and I'm teaching also. The easiest thing to do and the most practical is if the museum has any group of students.
Yeah.
So we can do something with that, especially in Zoom. We can connect and we can decide on something that's very simple, that doesn't take much energy to bring up and to do something with that, because you know, to move from here to there is complicated, and to move art from here to there is now everything is complicated. Besides being in touch, and if the museum has an education department and you have students of your own, this is something that we can work with, because everybody can speak in Zoom, and now everybody knows Zoom or Google Meet or whatever.
The technology can help us to bind each other. So last 2 minutes, Roma can speak. The last, you can.
Oh.
Huh?
Okay, thank you very much. So,
Okay.
Atar, I really love your idea, and I think that NGMA had a wonderful programs, educational programs, and they are collaborate with all the best art schools, and not only art schools, but and this is a good way maybe to connect between the cultures and with students too. I want to thank you.
I just want to add that I'm going to start next academy year. I will be involved with the curatorial studies, a new program. I will be the head of the program. So it will be a pleasure to have a dialogue with you, with your center, and with students too. And I think even what I spoke before about a research collection, we can start also through Zooms. It will be wonderful until we can go out.
Yeah, true. We can start it already. That's true. And again, I want to thank all of you for participating in the session. Thank you very much, sir, Gadanayak, for having us in the platform NGMA. Thank you, Drorit, Atar, and Tomer, on behalf of the Embassy of Israel. Really, I feel like
thank you
in
for
2 years.
All your work with us, and keep going with it.
Thank you. I'm staying here. I have no plan to go back yet. I'm staying here. We can still plan for the next year or two, I hope. And really, this is unforgettable. This experience of the working on this exhibition with NGMA, with the Israeli artists, with the wonderful curators, and it was very motivating for me.
Yeah, they worked so hard. You know, it was like the language problem, all the things they are like merged like a show, you know, everything merged together. Science, technology, philosophy, whatever, you know. So agriculture was more, actually in India also agriculture. So it was related so easily, everybody liked it. The show was so wonderful. The children, the school children, all the artists, they like it. And it was really very good exhibition. It was such an interesting exhibition. I remember all over my life, you know. It was full-time job for me. So
Thank you to you, Director of NGMA, and all your wonderful, wonderful staff. You are the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Hope to see you in the next session, maybe with, yeah, for the next exhibition.
We should plan, beautiful plan. Anytime you like, you can mail us to connect each other properly. Maybe sometimes again, we can plan to discuss whatever we are planning and whatever you are planning. So it will be the continue process, not one day, you know. So it is like 24 hours job. I feel like this. So it was the spark point for me. I like to continue properly. Whatever help you need, I am with you, and Roma also here, so we can connect easily and do something beautiful for both of countries. And thanks Israel Embassy and the Petach Tikva.
Sure.
Tikva Museum, yeah, to starting point. So
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. What time is it?